welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have another pair of Vibram shoes for review, and they're very popular. Vibram Five Fingers V Alpha. And according to Amazon, this is actually a hiking shoe. Yes, believe it or not. So let's start the review. As some of you already know, this is not just a regular shoe review. This review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival Boots section. And yes, I know these are not boots, but if you were in a survival situation and you already had a pair of good survival boots and you were carrying your survival backpack, walking towards the safety zone, right? Getting out of danger, and you had to walk for miles. On the way, you had to run. And somewhere on the way, you also had to climb and cross the river and maybe do a quick run to scoop the area. Very lightweight, right? So you actually carried something very lightweight, some kind of shoe wear, something very light, something very easy to put on, something very quick in your backpack. Like this, barefoot shoes or minimalist shoes or climbing shoes or water shoes, whatever you want to call them, right? In that category. Would this particular one, the V Alpha from Vibram, good for that purpose? Well, let's find out. How do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Criteria number 1, comfort level. And in order to test the comfort level of all the shoes and boots that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run non-stop, and then a 5-mile walk non-stop, and then I continue wearing the boots or shoes for the rest of the day, so that the total wear time is about 8 hours. So overall, these particular one, I would say, are could use a little bit more comfort. All right, the finger grooves. This is one of the main things that kind of makes me feel a little iffy about the comfort level of these shoes. After about mile to mile and a half mark, I started feeling serious fatigue, specifically in between these finger grooves. This material rubbing in between your finger, it really makes it weird. By the time I was doing my 3rd mile of my walk, I was ready to get out of the shoes. So I would definitely not use them for any of my hikes or any of my trail runs at all. Now, whenever it comes to short things, crossing a river, climbing up something, they can definitely you can use them for that purpose. But overall, the concept, it's there. There are some factors that could have made this really good. Like, for example, the weight. This is this is ridiculously lightweight. Let's look at that. It's size 9.5, 10, by the way. And check this out, 4.7 ounce. It's fantastic. The weight is excellent. The flexibility of the outsole is excellent. There isn't much of a cushioning in the inner sole, but I have to say, of all the Vibram shoes that I reviewed so far, this is more or less cushiony inner sole. But these finger grooves, it's just not finger grooves, but the fingers, they need to go. This is not good. I don't know who would wear this for a hike. Maybe on I honestly wouldn't even wear it on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it just does not fit me very well. But my reviews here, I really don't care about selling you anything. You want to buy it, you buy it. You don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. I really don't care. So I just say things as they are. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I hate the comfort level of these shoes. They're terrible whenever it comes to comfort. I don't know if anybody at Vibram have even put them on to try them on or wore them for more than 5 minutes. But well, it is what it is. Let's move on to the criteria number 2, proofing and protection. Obviously, there is no waterproofing, which is fine, completely fine with me. If you're crossing a river, you are expecting everything to get wet, but because the material is so light, it will dry out super quick, so it's not a problem at all. Protection-wise, also don't expect much protection. They put this kind of a reinforcement material on top, which absolutely makes no sense to me, honestly, and even this outsole going around. I honestly don't know who designed this. Somebody clearly not experienced in anything hiking. I don't know how they can call this a hiking shoe. Did you guys ever go for a hike, Vibram? Have you ever been on a hike? Because I can't see anybody doing a hike in this. I don't know, maybe somebody who's masochistic, I don't know, something like that. But I can't see. I would never consider this for for anything longer than half a mile walk. I would never consider this. But so there is really no protection, and the outsole. I mean, the same thing. Now I understand the concept of a minimalist shoe. It has to be super lightweight. The outsole has to be super flexible, and it is. But whenever you're on a hike, whenever you're on a trail, you do want to have a little bit of more of protection. I mean, this is too thin. This is way too thin. If you are anywhere outside of your house, walking on any road that you don't know what can be, a piece of glass, a nail, sharp rock on a hike, I don't know, some kind of plant with a spike. You don't want to be paranoid that it will go right through, and in these you definitely will be. So let's move on to the criteria number 3, quality and design features. Now, quality wise, people swear by these shoes. I don't know what they swear by, but there are over 1,000 reviews for this particular model on Amazon. The link is in the description below, and almost 5 stars. Yeah, so people do like them. So if you don't, if you don't consider any serious hiking or anything like that, I mean, and you figure out the fitment, and if they do fit you, looks like everybody likes them. So except me, apparently. But but go ahead. Speaking of the design features here, now obviously clear design feature here is that you have these 5 fingers. To me, this is a completely pointless concept. It makes absolutely no sense. If anything, it takes away from the comfort level and makes it much harder to put it on. Yeah, it takes a while to put it on because your finger goes there instead of there, and you have to fix it, and then by the time you fix it, another finger goes somewhere else. Stupid. But but the good part of the design feature here is the quick lace system. I do like it. Basically, you just pull on it, you tighten the lock, and then you attach this little Velcro to another piece of Velcro. The only downside is that you have all of this hanging around here. You can figure out to stick it underneath somewhere, not to flop around, but this is definitely a tripping hazard, and I think Vibram needs to figure out a way to kind of secure that as well. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now, outsole traction and stability. Now, I do like the design pattern overall of this outsole, but because it is so thin, this design pattern does not really make much of a difference whenever you do, you're hiking, you're running, whatever. Now, whenever I do my hike and my run for testing, I do it on a variety of different surfaces, starting from older asphalt, going to newer tarmac, then the dry sand, wet sand, dry grass, wet grass, going into the rocky road, and then the trail surface, and then coming back out of the trail on the concrete, then the rubber in my gym, and then the marble and tile in my house, and also the rock wall that I have in my house that I test particularly these types of shoes on. And overall, as you can imagine, this is definitely on the more slippery side. It handles well on asphalt and tarmac, but then again, everything else handles well on asphalt and tarmac. On the wet grass, this is slippery. On the wet sand, it is slippery. On the rocky road, painful, honestly, because you feel everything going through this. You literally feel everything. So I do not recommend this shoe for. I mean, if you say the word hiking, yeah, forget about it. It's like, but like I said, it's kind of sad because this is a good design pattern. So if the outsole was a little bit thicker, a little bit of tougher rubber, which being thicker would make it a little bit obviously tougher. Makes sense. It would have been way better, way more applicable for hiking. Now let's move on really quickly to the temperature. This by no means no winter shoe. We're not going to talk about cold temperatures, but whenever it comes to the hot temperatures, it is a little bit on the hotter side for some reason, because you're not wearing any socks, so you don't have any kind of like air circulation that goes when you have socks. You have a little bit of that space. Here it goes straight into that material. Now, of all the shoes from Vibram that I reviewed, this material is more or less pleasant to the touch. A lot of other stuff they have is not pleasant at all. This pieces, however, the kind of like a reinforcement, although this doesn't reinforce anything, they create that very hot, non-breathable feel. So I really am disappointed in the Vibram. It's supposed to be lightweight, it's supposed to be breathable, and it is lightweight, but it's not breathable for the most part at all, which is just takes away completely the whole point from minimalist barefoot shoes. Let's move on to the criteria number 6, the sizing. The sizing is a little off on this particular model for whatever reason. I don't know why. Everything else was spot on, but this particular model runs a little bit small. I bought 9.5, 10, which was good fit. I would say pretty perfect fit on all of the rest of the models. But here these particular ones run a little bit small, so keep that in mind. Let's move on to the criteria number 7 now, balance of application. So if this really was your backpack, right, barefoot shoe that you carried in your survival backpack, and you got to the, I don't know, let's say some kind of old structure, and you decided to climb up and scope the area from the top. So you put these on, you put down your backpack in somewhere in a secure location, and you start climbing, right? You climb up, there is somebody there, you get in a fight. I don't know, listen, use your freaking imagination, okay? I'm not even gonna go there. But would this be good for all that stuff, right? Personally, I would never get anything. I would get something like this, but not this. This is completely off. Like, to me, this is completely off. The finger grooves are completely stupid to me, make absolutely no sense. The outsole, I feel like it's wasted because it's a great design, but too thin, too flimsy, not grippy enough. So climbing, I would not climb. I'd rather climb in my boots, to be honest, than in these. Too much tripping hazard with this. So again, I would rather climb in my boots. And overall, I mean, you lose the whole lightweight, the whole breathability, minimalist barefoot feeling with this fabric that keeps your foot hot. Yes, so I am genuinely disappointed. But we are getting into the criteria number 8, price. And now it gets even worse, because these are actually $100 on Amazon. The link is in the description below. 98.30 to be specific. Now, this is, to me, outrageous whenever it comes to the price. I absolutely see no reason for these to be that expensive. I would say maybe $40 at most, because a fancy brand, Vibram. Now, Vibram is a fancy brand. Let's give them credit, okay? Some of the best hiking shoes out there, they have Vibram outsole because of the quality of rubber. So they make a nice, thick, good quality outsole for everybody else, but on their own shoes, they make flimsy crap that they overprice like triple. So really disappointed. $98. I mean, for that price, you can really buy anything you want. You can buy amazing tactical boots. You can buy amazing hiking boots. You can buy plenty. There's plenty of other minimalist shoes, trail running shoes, whatever you want. So I would not choose it. Now, this is really my personal choice, personal decision. Like I said, I try not to be any kind of biased or any kind of, like, guys, this is great. Check this out. This is great. Buy it. Use my link in the description below. Buy it. I don't do that. You know, you want to buy it, you buy it. You know, you don't want to buy it, it's up to you. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think about the review. Let me know what you think about the shoe. Maybe you have something good to say about it. I don't know. I really don't have much good to say, unfortunately, about this particular model. Now, there are some Vibram shoes that I am more or less okay with, but this is definitely not it. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.